What does a good friend say when advice is not what the other person needs? Can you follow the conversation, then answer without a script? Listen for the main idea first. Later, you will shadow the most useful lines and switch roles with us.
A friend called me after a difficult meeting, and I immediately started listing ways she could solve the problem. She became quieter with every suggestion, even though I thought I was being useful and supportive. Which choice changes what happens next? Keep your answer in mind.
I really want to practice English every day, but doing it alone isn't working. I lose focus after a few days. I need someone to keep me accountable, or I just give up. That's why I asked you to meet today.
I get that. I'd be happy to help you stay consistent. How about we start with a short daily practice? Listen to how I say how about we, it sounds like how about we with linking. That's natural English.
Leo offered to be my study buddy. I felt so relieved. But we just said sometime and parted ways. We were both busy and didn't want to pressure each other. Looking back, the plan was too vague. We needed specifics.
Solutions can help, but first I usually ask whether the person wants advice or simply wants someone to listen. Was there a moment when a different option became possible? I am not saying that planning is unnecessary or that disappointment should disappear immediately.
Yes. I stopped, apologized, and asked that exact question. She said she only needed to explain why the meeting had hurt. The detail I remember most is this: the sentence that changed the call was, "Would you like advice, or would you like me to stay with you in this for a minute?"
That detail makes the choice much clearer. Did the new option feel useful immediately, or only when you looked back? I ask about that detail because outcomes often sound obvious when we tell the story later. Inside the moment, a person usually has incomplete information and very little time to compare the alternatives.
I was still uncertain in the moment. Once she felt heard, she asked for one practical idea on her own, and the conversation became calmer. The outcome did not cancel the inconvenience or turn every loss into a secret benefit.
Then the two views are not complete opposites. Support becomes more useful when we leave room for the other person to name what they need. That conclusion leaves room for two reasonable people to protect different things. One person may value certainty because a promise or deadline is involved, while another may value flexibility because the stakes are lower.
Let me turn that into a question for you. How can you disagree or offer help without taking control of the other person's experience? I would not expect everyone to choose the same response, which is why the reason matters as much as the answer.
My answer is practical rather than perfect. I would first reflect what I heard, ask what kind of support is useful, and offer advice only after the person gives me room to do that.
I like that answer because it acknowledges the pressure and still gives the person one clear decision to make. That answer works for me because it includes an action, a reason, and a limit. It does not promise that the emotion will improve before the person has to act.
And that brings us back to the main idea: support becomes more useful when we leave room for the other person to name what they need. The final idea is not a rule that solves every version of the problem.
When Leo said he'd help, I assumed we'd start right away. But we just smiled and said sometime. We didn't want to impose. The result? No practice for a whole week. That taught me, without a specific plan, nothing happens. It's a classic mistake many learners make.
Sure, I'd be happy to be your study buddy. We can find a time that works for both of us later. It's a good idea to have a partner to stay accountable. How does that sound?
Yes. That sounds great. I'm really excited to start. Let's definitely do that sometime. I'll check my calendar and we can set a day next week. It will be fun to practice together. I think we should set a specific day though, so we don't keep putting it off. How about Wednesday afternoon?
Sure, I can be your study buddy. We'll practice English sometime. Maybe next week? I have a lot on my plate right now, but I'm happy to help. Let's touch base later.
That sounds great. Thanks, Leo. I'm free anytime, so just let me know when works for you. Honestly, I've tried practicing alone before but always gave up. Having a buddy makes me feel more accountable. I'm really glad we can do this together. I already feel more motivated.
Let's just practice English sometime when we're both free. No need to schedule anything strict, we'll figure it out as we go. You know, I've often found that making rigid plans backfires because life gets in the way. We can check in with each other and find time that works.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing too formal, just whenever we both have a free moment. I think that could work without putting too much pressure on us. Plus, it's flexible enough to fit around our other commitments.
Sometime works for me. We can just text each other when we're both free. No need to overcomplicate it. I find that if I overplan everything, I get stressed out. Let's just keep it natural and see how it goes. To be honest, I've always preferred a flexible approach.
I'm really excited to finally start practicing regularly. Even if it's just a few minutes here and there, it'll be better than nothing. I know we said sometime, but I'm determined to make this work. I just hope we don't forget about it in the busyness of the day.
I'm really looking forward to it, but I have a lot on my plate this week. How about you text me when you have a free evening? We'll make it work. I don't want to stress about a set schedule yet.
Let me check my calendar. I have a dentist on Tuesday, but Wednesday evening looks free. I'll confirm once I know, because I want to avoid our previous vague plan. I'll text you tomorrow with the final time. I'm really excited to start our daily practice.
Sounds good. I'll keep an eye on my phone. I've got a crazy week ahead with work and family, so just text me when you're ready. I'll be checking my phone. I'm sure we'll make it work. Talk to you then.
A week passed and we hadn't practiced. I kept thinking I should text Leo, but something always came up. I'd tell myself I'd do it after work, but then I'd get busy with dinner or just forget. The days just slipped by, and I started to see that sometime was a trap.
I also didn't reach out. I assumed Maya would message me first since she was the one who wanted to practice. I guess we both waited for the other person to make the first move.
It's frustrating because I really wanted to start. A whole week passed and we never even set a time. That's when I knew sometime doesn't work. I needed to propose something concrete, like a daily morning call.
I'm guilty of that too. I agreed to sometime because it was easy, but it fell through. We both needed a specific time and duration, otherwise life gets in the way. Now I see that a vague plan is no plan at all. We have to commit to a set routine.
So, a week later I called Leo and said, "Hey, we haven't practiced at all. I think we need a real plan. How about we practice every morning for 10 minutes? That way it's short but we actually do it." I felt a bit nervous proposing it, but I knew we had to be specific this time.
That sounds like a lot. I mean, I want to help, but I don't know if I can commit to every single morning. Maybe a few times a week? Or a shorter time? I'm worried I'll burn out if we start too intense. Let's find something that works for both of us.
I understand it feels like a lot, but I really think consistency is key. If we only practice twice a week, we'll keep losing momentum. 10 minutes is nothing. What do you think?
I see your point. 10 minutes does sound manageable. But still, every day feels like a big commitment. Let me think about it. Can we at least start with 3 days a week?
But I'm worried that 3 days won't create a real habit. I need that daily reminder. Could we try for a week? Just 1 week of every morning, and then we can reevaluate?
But let's keep it short. I think 10 minutes is doable. Let's try it for a week and see how it goes. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning at 8 a.m.? And if either of us is late, we reschedule to the next day.
Perfect. Let's set a recurring calendar event right now. I'll put it in my phone for every weekday at 8 a.m. That way we'll both see it and remember. I'll also set a reminder 5 minutes before so I don't oversleep. Do you have a preference for the reminder time?
Okay, I've set the calendar event for 8 a.m. every day. Now we're both accountable. No more vague sometime, this is a real commitment. I think that's the key, when you see it on your calendar, you're more likely to follow through. So, what do you think? Is this going to work for you?
We had a concrete plan, every morning at 8 a.m. for 10 minutes. I was so relieved. I set an alarm and went to bed hopeful. Notice how about we practice every morning for 10 minutes, makes the plan specific. Compared to sometime night and day. That specificity makes it happen. So try saying it, how about we practice every morning for 10 minutes? It's a game changer.
Every day? I mean, we both have jobs, errands, and other commitments. I honestly thought there's no way we could fit in English practice daily. But Maya didn't give up. She asked, what if it's just 10 minutes? That's when I started to reconsider. I figured, 10 minutes is better than nothing, so I said, okay, let's try a week.
I grabbed my phone and typed, hey Leo, I've been thinking. How about we commit to practicing every day? Just a few minutes each morning? I hit send before I could overthink it.
My phone buzzed with Maya's text. Every day? That feels like a lot. I'm already juggling work and family. Every day seems like a big commitment. I'm not sure I can do that. Maybe we could start with a few times a week?
When Leo said daily was too much, I understood his concern. But I've read that consistency is key for language learning. Even 10 minutes a day builds momentum. I texted back, I get it's a lot, but short daily sessions are more effective than long weekly ones.
Maya made a good point about consistency, but I still worried about the daily grind. I've tried daily habits before and they fizzled out. I'm just afraid we'll burn out. It's hard to maintain something every single day without a break.
His reply made me pause. Maybe he's right that daily could lead to burnout. But then I thought, we don't have to do it forever. What if we try for just 1 week? See how it feels? It's a short experiment.
I saw Maya's suggestion of a 1-week trial. I sighed. That was reasonable, but part of me still felt it was too much. Even a week feels like a lot. Maybe we should just accept that we're not that consistent.
When Leo said maybe we should accept inconsistency, my heart sank. I thought we were on the same page. I put my phone down and stared at the ceiling. Maybe he's right. Maybe we'll never build a daily habit.
I knew my words had disappointed Maya, but I was being honest. I really believed daily practice was unrealistic for us. I sent another message, I'm sorry, but I think we need to be realistic. We can practice when we have time, but not every day.
I read Leo's message and felt a wave of resignation. I closed the chat and turned on the TV. I thought, maybe we just aren't meant to do this together. I started browsing for language apps I could use alone.
But the evidence was clear, we had already failed to stick to a vague plan. A daily plan would be even harder. I listed out my weekly schedule to show how packed it was, work until 6, then gym, dinner, and chores. I honestly didn't see how 10 minutes would fit. But Maya pointed out that 10 minutes is just one coffee break. That made me think. So I asked, would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat, as a test?
I was scrolling through apps when I realized I had tried them before. They worked for a week, then I got bored. The truth is, I need a partner. That's the evidence from my past.
Maya hadn't replied in hours. I assumed she gave up on the idea. I felt a pang of guilt but also relief. We just didn't have the same commitment level. Maybe it's better to drop it altogether.
I brought up the topic again. About the English practice, I began, I still want to try something, but maybe a different approach. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning? How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning?
Maya seemed hopeful again. I realized I had been too harsh. Maybe we could do something shorter, I offered. Like 15 minutes? Or even 10? I said, considering the idea. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
When Leo said 10 minutes, my eyes lit up. That seemed so feasible. I could spare 10 minutes. 10 minutes sounds perfect, I said. I think I can do that. How about we start tomorrow? Let's commit to it.
Maya agreed quickly. How about early morning? Before the day gets busy? I suggested. That way it's done first thing. Every morning at 8?
Morning works for me. I usually wake up at 7. Could we do 8 a.m.? Right after I have my coffee. I smiled, feeling the spark of a new plan. That's perfect. Okay, I'll set a reminder.
I checked my calendar. 8 a.m. was free. I could do that. Yes, 8 a.m. is good. And only 10 minutes, so even if I'm tired, I can manage. I felt a new sense of possibility. I can do 10 minutes.
Exactly. 10 minutes is nothing. I can definitely wake up a bit earlier for that. And if I oversleep, we can reschedule to the evening. It's flexible. We can make it work. Every morning.
Maya's enthusiasm was contagious. Let's do it, I said. We'll start tomorrow at 8 a.m. 10 minutes. No excuses. We shook hands, and I felt a new sense of commitment. 10 minutes.
It's short enough that we won't feel overwhelmed, and it will really help us build a habit. What do you think? How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning?
All right, how about we practice for 10 minutes every morning? I think I can handle that, but only if we're really committed. Let's give it a try. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning?
Yes. I promise I'll remind you and we'll both stay on track. 10 minutes is nothing, really. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning?
How about we start tomorrow? I'll set my alarm for 7:45 so we can chat at 8. Let's do this. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning?
Perfect. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning, starting at 8? I think that's a great time. It'll become a habit before we know it. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning?
"10 minutes every morning at 8. I feel good about this. Now we need to make sure we don't forget. Let's put it in our calendars. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning?
Great idea. Let's open our calendars right now. We can do this together. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning?
That's what we're doing now. Let me create the event, daily at 8 a.m., starting tomorrow. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
Yes, absolutely. I'm doing the same thing. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
Great, I have it set. Actually, we already did. It's on my calendar now. Check yours? Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
I see it. It's right there, English practice with Leo at 8 a.m. Looks good. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
Perfect. I put it as a recurring event, so it'll appear every day. No excuses now. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
I did the same. It's already done. Now we just have to wake up and do it. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
But I want to be sure. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
Good idea. I'll set an alarm too. We are starting, but let's make sure we don't miss it. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
Okay, I have everything set. It's done. We are ready. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
Me too. I know we've said it, but seeing it in my calendar makes it real. I'm excited. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
Same here. It feels official now. Let's make tomorrow the first day of our new habit. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
Absolutely. It's happening. I can already see the streak on my calendar. This is going to work. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
I believe it will. We've set everything up. Now we just have to stick with it. See you tomorrow at 8. Would you be interested in starting a daily 10-minute English chat?
That's the plan. It's on the calendar. I'm actually excited for tomorrow. Let's make this work. I have a good feeling about this. Seeing it in black and white makes it official. How about we practice for 10 minutes every morning?
I've already set my alarm for 7:45. This is doable. I'm glad we're doing this together. 10 minutes a day is nothing. We can definitely handle that. I'm looking forward to our first session. Let's commit to it.
I slept through my alarm. I completely dropped the ball this morning. I can't believe it. After all our planning, I messed up on day 1. I feel terrible. I missed the call. I'm so sorry.
Don't beat yourself up. But we need to figure out why. I'm not angry, but we can't let this become a pattern. Maybe we should reconsider the time. Mornings might not be your best time.
You're right. I allowed myself to fall back. But I really do want this. Can we try again? Maybe we can switch to 8 p.m. That would be easier for me. I promise I'll show up. Can we try again? Maybe we can switch to 8 p.m.
I'm still in. But let's be realistic, if mornings don't work, maybe we need a different time. 8 p.m. sounds good. I can do that. But we have to stick to it. 8 p.m. sounds good. I can do that.
I know mornings are tough for me. Maybe we should switch to evening. Are you free at 8 p.m.? I'll set a new alarm and I won't miss it this time. Thank you for being flexible. Maybe we should switch to evening. Are you free at 8 p.m.?
"8 p.m. works for me. But this has to be non-negotiable. I'm updating my calendar to 8 p.m. Let's make this the one that lasts. This has to be non-negotiable. Once we decide, we stick to it."
Absolutely. Evening it is. I'm going to prove that I can do this. I'm going to prove that I can do this. Starting tonight, no excuses.
I'm glad you're taking this seriously. Let's make this work. I believe we can do it. Okay, I'm updating my calendar to 8 p.m. Same duration, same commitment.
I'm going to prove that I can do this. I'll call you at 8 p.m. sharp. This time I won't let you down.
It's been a week of daily 10-minute sessions. How does that feel? 7 consecutive evenings. I'm impressed. Are you surprised by how well we stuck to it?
It's become a habit. I'm really proud of us. What about you? Did you ever think we'd make it a full week?
Look at this, 7 check marks in a row. Our calendar is looking beautiful. It's proof that small daily habits work. Do you feel like your English has improved even in just a week?
It feels good. 10 minutes a day doesn't seem like much, but it adds up. I've noticed I'm more comfortable speaking. What about you? Have you seen a difference?
Exactly. Small daily habits beat big vague plans. We are living proof. This week showed that consistency is more important than intensity. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from this experience?
You know, I used to think I needed an hour of practice to improve. But this week proved that consistency is what matters. 10 minutes every day, without fail, has done more for my confidence than any long session I've tried. I'm so glad we adjusted the time and stuck with it. This approach works.
Absolutely. 10 minutes every day is way better than 2 hours once a month. And we actually do it. We moved from a vague sometime to a specific daily commitment. That's the key. I'm proud of us for making it happen.
I'm so glad we found this approach. We almost gave up when I missed that first morning, but we adjusted and it worked. Now I feel like we can take on any language goal. The secret is showing up every day, even for a short time.
And now it's automatic. We've built a sustainable habit. I think this is just the beginning. We can apply this to other areas too. But for now, let's keep our evening sessions going. I'm looking forward to many more weeks of this.